Hello and welcome back. My name is Randy Scamihorn and this is the Chairman's Brief. As Chairman of the Cobb Board of Education, I have the privilege of serving as spokesperson for the Cobb School Board. The school board, together with our staff, students, parents, and community, make up our team, striving for our common goal, student success. As I mentioned in our previous episode, our students routinely excel in standardized testing. A great education is about a lot more than tests, but tests are one piece which tell teachers what students know. I'm here to tell you that's not by accident. We strive to hire the best teachers around and equip them with the tools they need to lead our students to success. Over the past years, we've transitioned from books to online resources, from traditional classrooms to remote classrooms. There's been a lot of change. Even before the pandemic, Cobb schools used digital technologies to reach students in the classroom and even students working remotely around the world. With me today are three of the Cobb experts in this digital world: Kristen Kennedy, Janell McClure, and Ryan Fuller. Each of you introduce yourselves and tell us briefly about the part of our digital world you serve. And we'll start with you, Janell.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Janell McClure. I'm the Director for Applied Learning and Design. And the portion of my work that really impacts digital learning is the development of the Cobb Teaching and Learning System, or CTLS.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm Kristen Kennedy. I'm the Director of Instructional Technology. We are under the Technology Services Department, and we have a team of 27 teachers who use technology. And they train the teachers how to use technology in the classroom, and we actually train school board and all the other departments as well in the district.
Okay, great. Ryan.
My name is Ryan Fuller, and I'm the Director of Cobb Virtual Academy. For over 20 years, we have provided online class options for students here in the school district, and we're excited to continue to offer those courses and to expand as we move into the future.
Okay, great. Those are brief introductions, but we'll get more into everything here in a minute. Kristen, it seems like technology use in the classroom has come a long way. Why is it important to use current tech in the classroom, and how has that benefited students and teachers?
Well, your point of current technology, so I've actually been in the school district for 31 years. So starting at East Cobb Middle School, I had I think we called it a COW, like computer on wheels, that we kind of rolled between classrooms and tried when we could. But now, because of SPLOS and because of the commitment of the board, we have exceptional technology in each one of our classrooms, where we have interactive flat panels, we have technology at our kids' fingertips as well as our teachers. And because we're living in the digital world, we really need to make sure that we model as well as give opportunities for our students to become digital citizens, as well as not just using things socially, but really for productivity and showing what they know with their learning.
Okay, great. Janell, I know CTLS first appeared in the classrooms a few years back as a way to make teachers' lives easier, and more recently, as a way to identify what students know. Can you tell us about the teachers' feedback after using CTLS for a while?
Absolutely. So I think what's most important to understand about CTLS is that it's completely developed based on the feedback of our teachers and our stakeholders. So when we first rolled out CTLS Teach several years ago, probably 5 to 6 years ago now, we did it in an effort to put all of the resources a teacher needs in one place. Instead of them having to go to multiple places to try and find what they needed, they often got frustrated. We didn't want that. We wanted them to be able to go to CTLS, find everything they need to deliver instruction. And as soon as we launched that platform, and really just a shell, we allowed teachers to submit feedback, as well as principals and administrators, so that they could provide enhancements. And we took those enhancements and we prioritized based on how often they were asked for. And we based the development of the platform on what it is our end user wanted. And we've continued to do that over the last 5 or 6 years as we've rolled out other elements of the system. CTLS Teach was first. We had CTLS Assess. We've rolled out CTLS Parent, CTLS Learn. There's many facets of the platform, and all of it is based on teacher feedback. So we can be really proud of the fact that that voice has intentionally been used to create the platform, so it's exactly what they need in the classroom to deliver instruction.
Let me, I'll pick on you for a second
That's
with a
fine.
follow-up. Does CTLS follow the books that the teachers may have as a class set, or they may want to use the book as a supplemental training or learning device? So,
Yes, absolutely. So one of the pieces of CTLS Teach is a resource library. It has over 1 million learning objects in it that teachers can use to develop instruction.
Wow.
Yes, and so everything we adopt in textbook form is also available in digital form through CTLS, so that the teacher has the option of having that print resource in the classroom should they need it, but also have the digital means of accessing it if they need to share it with their students, say through a virtual environment.
Okay. Now, don't run off, Ryan. I'm going to get to you in a second. But I want to go back to Kristen. Is Janell talking about anything that crosses over into your area, and how do you use CTLS?
So our team collaborates every single day with the
Yes.
academics department to really ensure that teachers are skilled and equipped with the knowledge of how to utilize CTLS efficiently, and how that is going to really answer the 4 questions of our professional learning communities of what do our students know, or what do we need to teach them, which is CTLS Teach, and then how are we going to know if they know it, which is CTLS Assess, and then what are we going to do with the students who have not achieved that mastery yet, and what are we going to do with the kids who have and accelerate them. And so through CTLS, we really can leverage all of those different questions. And so our team goes out and works, training our leaders, training our teachers, and then we actually, are in classrooms modeling the use of CTLS as well as other digital resources that Janell has spoke of, or even Microsoft 365 and some of the other resources that the district gives to all students as well as teachers.
Okay, well, thank you. Ryan, before we get to your question, do you have anything to add that Janell and Kristen's been saying?
We have been involved with both academics and technology in the development of CTLS. We brought to bear our experiences in the online world, particularly as we dealt with the pandemic situation last year, making sure that the knowledge that we had of best practices in an online space were really incorporated into the design, the overall design. And we continue to work on the development of CTLS to really make sure that it's a system that can provide, all the resources that, all aspects of kind of digital learning might need here in the district.
Okay. You mentioned that Cobb Virtual Academy has been around for many years. Can you help us better understand who it's for and how it differs from remote learning?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned earlier, for over 20 years, Cobb Virtual Academy has provided quality online courses for high school credit. And we serve thousands of students every year, probably 1 course, 2 courses at a time, high school students and even some upper level middle school students as well. How it differs from the remote learning is that our courses are designed to be primarily asynchronous. And that simply means that our instructors and our students are not necessarily online at the same time. And our students will read through lessons, watch engaging videos, participate in interactives that help them practice what they've learned, and then they will engage in assessment activities that help demonstrate their mastery. The teacher's role is really to facilitate that learning, to support the students through their journey through the course, to provide rich feedback to the students, to provide proactive support, monitoring how students are doing in the class and reaching out to them if maybe they notice that the student's not progressing as quickly or as well as they should. And then also just being a support resource for students when they need to have a question answered.
Okay. I'll follow on as far as offering students options. What kind of courses are we talking about?
That's a great question. So we offer courses in the 4 main core areas: math, science, social studies, and ELA, both on-level and honors level courses. We do offer a selection of AP courses as well. And then we also offer personal fitness and health, which are 2 of our most popular courses. And we've just started to invest in the career and technology area. So we have a new course in the career and technology area. And we are very excited to be launching world languages in the spring. So that'll be the first time that Cobb Virtual has offered world languages as online classes in the spring.
What, I'll start with Ryan, but y'all jump in if you see an opening. As a student, and you can pick a grade level, I've never taken an online course. How do I know if I want to do that, whether it's online or remote or asynchronous or synchronous, or, I mean, a lot of new stuff. I'm a young person here, and how do I go about doing that?
Well, the primary reason that students engage with us is the need for flexibility. And our courses are offered to students, or accessible to students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if a student finds themselves in a situation at a local school where they have very complex scheduling needs, then there may be an opening in their schedule in a class that they need, and that class is not being able to be offered at the school at that particular time. And so because of the flexible nature of asynchronous online delivery, they can take our course. Now, whether or not that's the best method for the student, many years ago we had a list of who can be the most successful in an online course. And to a certain extent that still exists. So students are able to be a little more independent in their learning. But today we've increased our student support opportunities, so we feel that most, if not all, students that come to us can find success.
Would I go through my counselor?
Absolutely. For Cobb Virtual Academy, and really for all these types of decisions, kind of the best learning environment for the student would always start with that conversation with the counselor. And in our case specifically, all the courses that students register for with Cobb Virtual, they have to be approved by the counseling department anyway. So we see the counselors kind of as our front line of both decision making and kind of supporting the students in that decision, and also just information dissemination, making sure students understand what it means to take an online class and the responsibility there.
Kristen, help me in your area again. How do you interact with Ryan, and how do you help students, like in the regard to getting them started or through, or is that not your area?
So we really are not, leveraging CTL or CBA. What we really do is really help support the teacher with what we call blended learning, where there's so many, students are walking in with phones or having the opportunity of using technology in the classroom. Like, all the information's already there. If they have a question, all they have to do is Google it. And so what we're trying to do is just transform classrooms into, it's not just, the old textbooks, but, use resources that are in CTLS. Or to Janell's point earlier, the teachers have digital books, but the students also have digital books that they can access through CTLS as well. So they don't have to carry, 20 pounds, of books anymore. They can just, open up their device and get to whatever social studies resource. Younger students have social study weekly, so it's very current. The books in the past, we would have, 10-year-old social studies books, and now we have now books.
Content.
We have really updated content. So we really are trying to support the teachers and getting those students to show what they know, but also in a creative, engaging way.
Now, that's fantastic. You used a term I want to go back to.
Here we go. I got bets.
You ready? And the other, Ryan, you and Janell can follow up if you need to or want to. Blended learning.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
The teacher now has the opportunity of putting a lot of learning resources inside CTLS. So I might be listening to the teacher and, listening intently, but at the same time, I'm, not a morning person. I have that opportunity when I get home or another time to go back into CTLS and kind of almost reteach myself, or just kind of rewatch or look at some of the resources that were brought in from the content library, just to reinforce some of those skills. And then again, I can, send a message to my teacher at 8 o'clock at night. Now, we're not answering, but at least the teacher can reach out. The student can reach out, like, I'm still having trouble with this. So then when the student comes back, the teacher's already aware of, I'm going to support these students. So to me, I think the productivity and the streamlining of learning has increased through technology.
Okay.
And our teachers have been doing this for years, if not longer. You've heard of flipped classrooms, where the teacher might deliver direct instruction via a video that students watch at home, but then they come into class the next day, and that's where they really apply the learning that they learned in that video.
And blended really brings together the best of both worlds.
Yes.
The things that are maybe done best in a physical classroom, and there are some things that are done best in a
Correct.
virtual space.
That's right.
And the blended kind of pulls those two pieces together, and I'm very convinced that a blended approach is probably the future of education.
Mm-hmm. What role does CTLS have in Cobb Online Learning Academy, Janell?
Well, it's the delivery platform. Without CTLS, we couldn't have a Cobb Online Learning Academy. You have to have that platform in place first. It has to be developed in such a way that you can meet all the features and functions that are needed in a true online academy, which Ryan can certainly speak more to. And the fact that we were able to provide that is what's going to make that academy so successful.
The teachers can engage with the students, again, both asynchronously and synchronously in the CTLS environment.
Right.
And it's equally good at both. There was some significant upgrades made to the platform over the summer term that allows for them to really fully realize. So they'll even be blending in a synchronous and asynchronous. See, there's that word again. Synchronous and asynchronous virtual learning through the Cobb Online Learning Academy with their students.
Okay. Now I'm going to touch on something you just said. Significant improvements or changes over this past summer.
Yes, sir.
Last year when we were all scrambling to make sure our kids were getting what they needed, we had some issues with CTLS. Without going into the weeds, reassure me as a parent that that's really going to help my student and me get through this year much better than last year, in spite of the pandemic.
Sure, and some of the improvements will be things that you may not even notice, such as the connectivity, the ease of logging in, the more consistent, access to your courses. All of those things have been improved over time, and again, particularly this summer. Some of the more function type improvements that were made over the summer, again, address an area that I'm very familiar with, the asynchronous learning, and that we knew that these Cobb Online Learning Academy teachers and students would need access to. So in addition to just stability improvements, login process improvements, ease of use improvements for parents and students and teachers, there are these big functionality pieces, and that work will continue. We are on the precipice of some additional functionality that will continue to improve.
So now you're going to tease us, huh?
That's right, absolutely. Now it's just finding the best time, the right time to push out those improvements to make sure all the training resources, which certainly Kristen could speak to, are in place, and to make sure that it works and that it works well.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned, I was going to go with Janell, but let's go back to Kristen since you mentioned that. Kristen, pick up on that.
Well, again, it goes back to the teacher's voice. The teachers are like, we need this, we need that. And so that's the priority when we work with the development and the enhancement of the Cobb teaching and learning system. And so a lot of the little carrots that he was dangling are all based on teacher feedback. And so with that, we are, this past week with pre-planning, we were so excited to walk the schools finally again and be in classrooms to really see the teachers' excitement of, oh my gosh, they have this, they have that. So we just really support the training and enhancement of the classroom.
Okay. Janell?
Yeah, I think something that's important to remember here is because we developed CTLS in-house with some strategic partners, we're able to make these enhancements and these modifications and develop this system according to what we want in this district. We could never have been able to do that if you bought an out-of-the-box learning management system. who's serving millions of customers all over the world. And if you want this enhancement, sure, we'll put it on our roadmap. You might get that in 6 to 12 months if we're lucky, maybe 24. No, because we basically manage and develop this system ourselves, we can make it whatever we need. We can customize it accordingly.
And we reviewed a lot of the out-of-the-box
We most
solutions, and
certainly
they
did.
did not meet the needs and the vision that was provided to us. And so that
That's right.
decision was, it was obvious when those processes were complete.
I think our customers will be very interested in the way it evolved.
Absolutely.
And what we're still doing.
Without-
Iterations.
That's right.
That's exactly
It
right.
iterates.
So, yeah, and I personally was very disappointed in all of our books, whether it's social studies, history, math, English, of all the number of errors, let alone misinformation, which you classify as an error too, but were in the books. And once you buy them, you're stuck with the errors and the misinformation.
Well, I think that's the beauty of CTLS Content Library, because our
agree.
teachers are really practitioners for their students. And so instead of just saying, everyone open the book to page 24, they can really personalize and really leverage the technology where, again, like I said earlier, they're facilitators. And again, they're not just pushing down the information. We really want our students to, in this digital age, the information's out there. So let's give them that skill set of where they can discern the information and then show mastery and how can technology leverage that. The students are getting immediate feedback. Teachers are getting immediate input from their students so then it's not days between a graded paper or days between. It really has amplified the work.
Then if people are interested in these digital resources in Cobb, they can go to our website and to get more information. And is it pretty easy to find?
Find it fast.
Find it fast.
And then
I'd
also
forgotten
there's
about
some
that.
key icons on the main page. And then in the upper left-hand corner where it says menu, parents and students go to a family or student section. All the resources are there.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you for the vast knowledge you shared. And thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed learning about Cobb's technological world of education and how it helps us all move our students toward the lofty goal of student success. Join us next time when we'll speak with a special guest about Cobb's new online learning academy. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next edition of the Chairman's Brief. Have a good day.